Has got him figured at 5 to 9. But make it epitaph, he wins it by a half. According to this here in the Telegraph. For Rivera fight, I hear his...
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Hedsling with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Saturday, September 27th races at Hastings, and we got 7 races on the Saturday. Yep. We do have 8 thrillers on the Sunday program as we do kick off another weekend. No stakes action this weekend, but we had some pretty nice stakes last week.
We did have stakes last week. We had the 2 futurities. We're going to go back and have a look at these. The first one up was the 6th race last Sunday. It's the boys race. Horse to keep an eye on. Number 2, of course, Lord Rosberg, out of the Pat Jarvis barn. He was your favorite. That's him down there going to the lead, putting a little bit of pressure on Sedin. I picked Sedin in this race. He did run an admirable race, considering it was his
first try around
first time around 2 turns. Hadn't run for a while. Just had the 1.3.5 under his belt. But Lord Rosberg was definitely the boss on this day. He was favored going into it, and he figured it'd be tough. Another one to keep an eye on is the 6 horse. He's back a little bit there. Is Merlot. He's on the outside there.
He had a tough trip. These two had a good trip. They were fighting, Sedin and Lord Rosberg, but a big gap back to Mo can do it, and as well as Mario's win. But here comes...
that's Forestry's Devil.
Forestry's Devil making a pretty early run there through the half and 45 and 2. But Lord Rosberg on the head end, traveling comfortably under Richard Hamill, just going a little better than Sedin, and unfortunately Sedin did fold, you know, as you'd expect. I mean, it's tough to take on the favorite on the head end. And
pinned down on the rail.
But
he did not have
Merlot made a good run out 4 deep there in the middle of the track, but Lord Rosberg was gone from here, and
Lord Rosberg, very talented.
He is talented. Merlot runs into second, and Forestry's Devil third. Sedin fourth.
Merlot, an interesting horse. He's one to keep an eye maybe in the futurity. It looks
like in the Ascot.
The Ascot
graduation. Yeah, this horse was 3 and 4. He had a tough first turn, Merlot, as did her stablemate Cognac, who had no favors done. But still a good run from Merlot. But
it's a big kind of long striding boy. I think.
He'll like the distance. But so Lord Rosberg's a little professional. And congratulations to Gail Breckenridge and Lillian Jarvis Meehan and Pat Jarvis, of course, and Richard Hamill.
Jockey Richard Hamill, who doubled up on. In the futurities here. We're going to have a look at the
here come the fillies,
the girls' end.
And
of course, the one to keep an eye on here was your favorite, number 7, Finality's Charmer. Kind of falls out of there a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of broke outward. Chic Bird broke the best and got the lead, but Richard handled this filly confidently, and they settled in a nice spot sitting in the outside of
almost
an
identical type race as we just watched him ride on in the
just got a 2-wide trip on the head end. That's where you want a 2-year-old on the head end. Did have Quatrecat out there a little deep on the track. He was the second choice. Splendid Scat saving ground on the rail under Jeff Birmingham.
Splendid Scat runs a big race. Another one out of the Craig McPherson barn. Bit of a surprise, a little bit under 13 to 1 with jockey Jeff Birmingham, but a big race. But Finality's Charmer was the horse to beat today, and nobody could.
No, just still traveling comfortably, and draws away from Chic Bird here, and here comes Splendid Scat and Quatrecat. But Quatrecat just didn't have the needed energy as. Actually, a troubled Rockport Dancer comes rolling on to get third. Can't see her in the picture as yet, but Finality's Charmer was clear here, and Splendid Scat makes it interesting
very
late.
Much in control, and he does.
Still a little staggers late. This horse got the staggers. Here comes Rockport Dancer 3 deep, running into third with Seedle surprise fourth. But Finality's Charmer just finds the line ahead of stablemate Splendid Scat. They were 3 lengths clear of Rockport Dancer with 3 very nice fillies, and congratulations to Finality's Charmer. The Shaws, they sniffed another one out at the CTHS sale, and they've won back-to-back stakes races with her and the daughter of Finality.
Your second and third horses there, Splendid Scat and Rockport Dancer. Those are 2 that you keep an eye on for the fantasy.
Definitely. It looks like those will be the 2 running on, but we'll see if Finality's Charmer can make it back into the fantasy at a mile and the 16th. But still, a great year for Finality's Charmer, a great year for the Shaws, and of course Craig McPherson is just having a career year. Things are batting a high. When you run that many horses still hitting at that big a percentage, it is very impressive.
It's impressive, as well as Hamill. Hamill's
not winning a lot of races too. Both ends of the futurities you mentioned. Let's get into Saturday card at Hastings. More 2-year-olds here. We got 5 of them signed up, and a non-winners of 2 allowance, going 6.5 furlongs. The standout on paper, there's no secrets here. The 4-horse O'Derrick has been given a pretty cushy spot here against 3 maidens. Well, the one horse that has won is a filly, and that's Eau Claire de Lune. So this is a super opportunity for O'Derrick to prep for the Ascot graduation and get which is in a couple of weeks' time. And definitely your horse to beat is O'Derrick. I put the 3-horse Captain Jones, the first that keeps getting scratched. I'm hoping that he can finally make the starting gate. I think last time there was no riders available, just a rider booked. I was on Choxy was on it and booked off, and I didn't know. Perhaps that was the reason why the horse scratched. But this horse has been hit the scratch board quite a few times. And I put the 5-horse, a filly, Bold and Lovely, in for third. Filly by Bold Executive that cost quite a bit of money for the Century Plazas. The Lisselgar family paid a few bucks as they always do. Our best wishes to Laurie and her family who race under Century Plaza. This horse ran okay behind Chic Bird and didn't get away great and made some progress late. And we'll see if she can run into the placings. But O'Derrick on paper looks like a slam dunk cinch.
Yeah, that's definitely your best bet on the card today.
You couldn't have served up. That's like the Globetrotters against the Washington Generals. You couldn't have served up.
I thought they were due.
Yeah, the Washington Generals. Yeah. But O'Derrick looks great.
O'Derrick is your horse, as you mentioned. Obviously, my top pick too. Behind it, I went with Jock's Pot, the 1 horse out of the Patty Leaney barn. Patty's starting to heat up. Her horse has been running very well lately. Under jockey Jeff Birmingham here. Comes out of 2 good races with Sedin, Bluegrass Angus, Birdie Num Nums in his first race. Came back in the sale stake behind Lord Rosberg, we just watched, Forestry's Devil. So he was getting beat a fair distance in there, but as far as the others in here, I like him to be second. And I put Captain Jones, the one you mentioned, Frank Barraby's first-time starter, that he's had trouble getting to the gate.
Trouble entering, trouble getting to the gate.
Trouble getting to the gate. I think today will be the day he gets to the gate. I put him in third spot. 4, 1, and 3 for me in the first. On to the second, Fillies and Mares, optional, 35. Nice race. Now we get into one that is definitely not a slam dunk for everybody. Very competitive field of 6 runners in here. And speaking of Frank Barraby, I went to his horse here, Turlani. Huge race last time. You know, I've always thought she was a bit more of a distance filly, but when you look at her numbers at 6.5, she's done very well. And last time ran a monster race, just getting run down by Madeira Park in the lane. I think if she can duplicate that kind of effort, lay a little close. I don't know how much speed is going to be in here, which worries me that Touching Promise could get away from them. But I like Turlani on top. Castanet Dancer, I have in second. Coming off a big second in the stake on at Emerald Downs.
BC Cup, Washington Cup
Washington Cup Day, that's the one. She got a nice 71 buyer for that. I got her in the second spot. And Touching Promise, under leading rider Amadeo Perez. He won on her 2 back in a similar type race. Now she comes, then she went into the stake that Lockett won on Derby Day. Comes back in here under Amadeo Perez. She's a big threat. I have trouble separating these 3. Those are the 3 I went with. I went 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah, I got the same 3, but I went to Touching Promise on top. I mean, I think she's the solid sprinter.
She could get
the mile and 1/8 is just too far for her. I don't know. She ran well in the Ballerina last year, but just this year she just seems to be getting in races where it's just uncomfortable for her. She's not rating properly, and she's getting out of position. And she had a troubled win over Lockett 2 starts back, a sprint, and I think she's just the solid. I think she's the speed in here. I think she's going to get to the front.
About her,
Turlani, I respect totally. I can see her winning the race for fun, but I just from the rail, I just have trouble seeing her getting a perfect trip. Because I think Touching Promise is going to get the jump on her. I think Amadeo's just going to put her on the lead, and I can see a 22-4 opening quarter. I don't see anyone in here that can go to the front. So I see things a little comfy for
maybe Pretty Reckless. That's
that's the only one. She's coming from out of it lately,
yeah.
but she has shown speed in the past. You're right. I put Turlani in for second, and Castanet Dancer I agree for third. Now, not her best distance, Castanet Dancer, but put her in for third. And you get the 3-year-old filly, Flatter You. She's pretty nice and pretty reckless.
She did have a rough trip in the Oaks, so she may be up there.
And Pretty Reckless is one with Hamill back aboard.
Yeah, totally. I don't mind her.
This horse has run good
races.
As
I mentioned, very competitive top to bottom kind of fields.
Yeah, I went to the 5 though. Touching Promise went 5, 1, and 2 in the second. In the third race, I got some $16,000 condition claimers here. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, non-3 BC bred. I landed on the the 3-horse DJ Snow, pretty impressed with the way this horse has been running against tougher company. Going to get a pace. It's an off-the-pace horse that needs pace help. Going to get it. Carson City Brown, Rebus, After the Conflict. There's even Stone Ridge. There's tons of speed in here.
Yeah.
I just think this is the one horse that, even if there wasn't a pace, I would like DJ Snow. But I just think things are going to be very comfy for DJ Snow, and this horse is going to make his presence felt in the stretch. I put the 2 Rebus, who ran against the very tough Bear Rock and Roll last time. These two were out on the head end, and that's an open 12-5 that he was in. He gets into a restricted race. That's a significant drop, even though it's up in claiming price, but that's a drop in ability and talent. Yeah. This is an easier race for Rebus. And I put the 4-horse After the Conflict with Amadeo aboard. I didn't know where to go for third, but I like 3 and 2. But I do like the 3 a lot. I went 3, 2, 4.
I have the same horses. I do like the 3 too. Look at the horses he's been running against. He's got Tracker,
I know. Go
Hope
for Guinness.
Seeker, Go for Guinness,
Big
Qatar's Pearl Modern,
getting
Go for
down to
Guinness.
these
It's all over.
And the pace is the big. It's going to get a great.
He's going to have
I don't see
something to
anyone
run at.
getting loose. There's going to be 3 or 4 of them banging heads. Not that he needs that to make him a winner, but he's going to get it, which
exactly.
should ensure a victory.
It's good. Yeah, exactly. He should be the best in here.
Right.
And it's going to set up for him to boot. But I like John Snow's running here, DJ Snow, under Keyshawn Balgobin, who's starting to pile up the wins a little bit. Rebus, I have in second spot, as you mentioned, Tracy McCarthy's horse near, Richard Hamill, who's on fire lately. Definitely, I saw the second most talented horse. And I got the same one in third. Patty Leahy's horse, After the Conflict, with Amadeo Perez aboard. I got 3, 2, and 4 in the third. On to the fourth. 3-year-olds end up claiming 4,000, going a mile and a tick. And I've gone to dropping horse in here, out of the Troy Taylor barn, Glencoe Kid. Yep. Comes out of a 12-5 with Grandpa George, Broward County, Michael's Glory, those kind. Only got beat for 4.5, 4 3/4 in that one. Drops into a much easier spot in here. I think he'll be laying close enough to take the lead as they turn for home. I got Glencoe Kid on top. The second spot I put, he's big time. Amadeo Perez just won 2 back in his non-3 4,000.
Right.
He came back against Open Company. That was against Tommy Danziger and that tough distance race. Now he gets back to mile 16th, which is probably a little bit more to his liking, and Amadeo Perez definitely will not hurt him. Those are the 2 I think are the tough ones in here. I looked around for a third one. I thought about Step Up. I ended up on Crossrail Court. Mike Anderson's horse has been running very good lately. Yeah. An angle that I've seen happen a few times lately is it seems to be happening with Mike's horses. Hamill rides them once, they don't run any good. He has other options in there. He sticks with them. They come back and run a big one. He did that with 4 times Lucky the other day. So I don't mind Crossrail Court with Hamill sticking to him. I got 6, 5, 7.
Yeah, I don't mind Crossrail Court at all. This horse had the 10-hole last night. It wasn't a great trip. Give that horse another look. I've gone to this. I agree with your top 2. I went to the 6, Glencoe Kid. I don't love this horse at all. This horse might not be able to run at all
He might
anymore.
just have
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, this horse ran last. It was a 5-horse field. This horse is exiting. And the one time it ran third this year, that was a 5-horse field as well, and just kind of probably fell into third.
I was trying to oversell him, saying he ran 5th in the last game.
But the horse that really, I don't know, I agree with the 5. He's big time. I probably should have picked him on top, and just, Amadeo's on him again. He was aboard for that win 2 starts back last time, no pace. Tommy Danziger's a pretty classy horse running in the marathon.
He would
series.
be even money in here,
and he's big time. There is speed in here with Proxy Man. The filly, Honey Skila, likes to lay close. Step Up has speed. There should be a little bit of pace in here to help out. He's big time. And he's been the victim of slow paces this year. And but Amadeo seemed to suit him to a T, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse win easily. I just put Glencoe Kid on top just out of respect for the horse. He's a former stakes winner, and maybe he just doesn't want to participate anymore. I'm not sure. But I went 6-5, and I put the 4-horse Step Up in for third. On to the 5th race. Maiden 5 granders going a mile and the 16th. Ended up with the 5-horse Fashionista over the 6 on the sunny side and the 1 Wee Harry. But I think Fashionista is the horse. Didn't get away well sprinting last time. He got a tough trip. I know on the sunny side beat him, but I think it was more circumstances of the trip. On the sunny side had a very good one. Rail early, angled out 4 wide, and got the job, job done for place. Whereas Fashionista, who needs to be near the pace, was 4 wide through much of the trip, and I just think that no disrespect to Alex Marty. I mean, Amadeo Perez rides this track so well, and that's a big rider change. I got to go Fashionista over the 6 on the sunny side in the one Wee Harry. He's had a lot of chances, but and I believe he was scratched on post parade too about a week or two ago. Might have one of Tack's horses was. I don't know if it was Wee Harry. It was just a little gap in the work or in the racing there, and did come back and work to get off the vets list, I believe. But I went 5, 6, and 1. I like Fashionista and I love the horse. But anytime you're dealing with maidens in almost October, you can't be super confident. So I went 5, 6, 1.
I have the same horses. I did put Wee Harry on top. He has had a little time off, but I thought that Magic in Overtime race, just losing the Magic in Overtime, was tougher than maybe these other horses who got beat by Rocky's Amigo. So I leaned his way for Tack Inoue and Jeff Birmingham. Fashionista, as you mentioned, a lot of things to like about him in here. I have him in second. And on the sunny side in third, I got the same horses. I did put Wee Harry on top, though. I just thought he comes out of a tougher race. I got 1, 5, and 6 in the fifth. On the sixth, 3 years and up, maiden, 25,000. I'm going with the favorite here. He will be the favorite. She, sorry.
Yeah. It's
Blended
against the boys.
Just got beat 3/4 of a length last time. Beat by Spirit River when she,
running against the boys there. And
running
she's live.
Yeah,
she's live.
I think
I agree.
she is against the boys, but the 25 came up. Tracy McCarthy, can't say enough good things about that barn. They do a very good job. Their horses always look good, and their horses run good. Amadeo Perez takes the call on Blended. The second spot, I went with strangely arousing Spud O'Connell's horse in here. Just got beat 2 lengths by Windhammer last time. It's been right there, basically in the maiden special weights. Then only got beat a couple lengths in the maiden 25. Comebacks for maiden 25. I got him in second. And the third time, I went with Finally Diamonds, Barb Head's horse. You'll know this one well.
Yep.
This is another one. As I mentioned earlier, I've seen him, Hamill do this with Mike Anderson's horses. Here's one for Barb. I know he had other options in here. He rode this horse 6 by 11th. It was his first start. He sticks with it. That tells me I think this one will run a big one. I got 6, 7, and 4 in the sixth.
Yeah, I agree with Blended, and I got your same 3 horses, except I flip-flopped them around. I really want to make a strong case for the 4 Finally Diamonds. It's a big, strong horse that... his outside post he had enough speed to get himself hung out wide, and that's what the problem was. He didn't have enough speed to clear, and he didn't have enough speed to get in somewhere, and the pace wasn't super fast. So he ended up getting hung out quite wide, and he was 4 deep the whole race. Ran a little green, but I thought the horse ran very well to the head of the lane, flattened out a bit late, but I think he'll get lots out of that. I think he'll be inside. I think this horse is very live. I agree with the 6 horse Blended. This filly's pretty dangerous. She comes out of back-to-back good efforts, and she's due to break her maiden. She ran so well against the boys, as you mentioned, 2 starts back. And Strangely Arousing is also live. So 4, 6, 7 for me. I agree. Same 3 horses here in race number 6. On to the 7th race. Maiden 16 Granders going 6.5.
Baby race.
2-year-olds here. I ended up on the 6th, cleared to victory. Pretty impressed with the runner-up effort to Mr. Rosberg. Not to be confused with Lord Rosberg, but still a very nice horse in the Tracy McCarthy barn. And cleared to victory, showed good speed. Richard Hamill had the horse in good position. There wasn't a lot of pace on, but still, this horse finished the race quite well. Was a pretty comfortable second, and I don't see a pile of pace in here. I think this horse is going to get things a little cheap on the head end again. Might have to deal with the 8 horse My Eye Candy, but other than that, that's pretty easy. I put the 9 horse Goes Way Back. They've been running, obviously, in the much tougher races. In for second, running against Merlot, Bluegrass Angus, who came back to win. Lord Rosberg. The form is just filled with top 2-year-olds, that he's been running against. So he's been keeping excellent company, and he does take a significant drop in the 16. So he's live with Amadeo Perez. I put the 3 horse. It's in command for Harold Barabee. This Gelding just ran last weekend, but comes out of a pretty quick heat. That was won by, I believe, an Angel, and 39 and 3 is pretty good time. This horse was making up ground late, and hard to do when they're running that fast. Birdie Num-Nums, and it was a pretty solid heat. And I just think the horse has something. I like the works going into that race too. So this horse has been prepping to go farther. So I think the 3.5 furlongs might have handcuffed the horse a little bit. I think this horse will be a lot better at 6.5. So give him a shot. I went 6, 9, and 3.
I see it exactly the same way, Mike. 6, 9, 3. 6, 9, 3. Craig McPherson and Richard Hamill, they're knocking them dead.
How are they doing this year?
Yeah, 41% together. This horse was favored last time, as Mike mentioned, got beat by Mr. Rosberg, comes back, looks like he'll break his maiden today, Goes Way Back, as Mike mentioned. I'm just going to basically repeat what he said here. Running against tougher horses, Merlot, Bluegrass Angus, Tax Horse, gets Amadeo Perez, looks like he'll be tough in here. And the three horse in third, Hall of Fame trainer Harold Barabee runs this one back in a week. Second in command out of Devil's Eclipse, who's throwing some runners, so I like that too. 6, 9, and 3 for me in the nightcap. I see it exactly the same way as my partner, Mr. Heads. On to our selections will be up now.
Quick recap of how we saw the Saturday card. Back in race number 1, I went to the very obvious and number 4, O'Derrick. I went 4, 3, and
Best
5.
bet of the day.
Yes, on the second race, number 5, Touching Promise over the 1, Turlani, and the 2, Castanet Dancer. But I think you can get away with 2 horses there in the early pick 4. I think 1 and 5 would be the 2 wise ones to use. In race number 3, I went to the 3, DJ Snow over the 2, Rebus. I think those, once again, if you're going to use 2 horses, those would be the 2. I put the 4 after the conflict for 3rd. Race number 4, I went to the 6, Glencoe Kid over the 5, He's Big Time. Once again, I think another 2-horse race. I think you need them both. I went 6, 5, and 4. The 5th race, I went to the 5, Fashionista over the 6 on the sunny side, and the 1, Wee Harry. Race number 6, I went to the 4, Finally Diamonds over the 6, Blended, and the 7, Strangely Arousing. And in the 7th and final, I went to the Craig McPherson trainee, Cleared to Victory over the 9, Goes Way Back, and the 3, It's in Command.
On to my picks, there we go. I agree with Mike on a lot of these. First race, I went to the 4 as well.
That kind of card,
Derek
though.
over the I know there is it. It's that time of year kind of where you're getting a lot of horses that are dropping down in the class. 4, O'Derrick for me in the first over the 1 and the 3. In the second, I went to the 1, Turlani over the 2 and the 5. In the third, I agree with Mike on number 3, DJ Snow over the 2 and the 4. In the fourth, number 6, Glencoe Kid over the 5 and the 7. In the fifth, I went to the 1, Wee Harry over the 5 and the 6. In the 6th, I went to the 6, Blended over the 7 and the 4. And in the nightcap, the 7th, I went to the 6, Cleared to Victory over the 9 and the 3.
All right, that'll do it for our Saturday, September 27th edition of Handicapper's Corner. Don't forget, if you're at the track at Hastings, to pick up our selections
down at the beer stands.
down on the tarmac there. It'll have the Derby 2-for-1 coupon, and take advantage of some great food from Chef Andy here at the Derby. And also got an overnight with the horses' names on them, and all sorts of goodies on that free sheet of the beer. The beer is going to cost you, but the Derby Bar and Grill.
Our picks are free.
Our picks are free. Everything's definitely complimentary.
One thing I wanted to mention too before we go, local owner Glenn Todd, North American Thoroughbreds, and Mark DiDomenico have a horse running Majestic Presence in the. Oh, I can't think of the name. It's a Grade 1.
Yeah, Grade 1. Sanity, it's a big. It's kind of a win and you're in race for the Breeders' Cup. It's a great card. Actually, at Belmont, it's a Super Saturday today for this card as well. Numerous win and you're in races. Lots of Grade 1s at Belmont. Of course, as you mentioned, at Santa Anita, they begin their oak tree meter. Yeah, the chandelier. Good memory.
Came to me.
Hey, finally clicked in. I had to stumble long enough for you to get it. But I know I wouldn't have remembered it. But yeah, lots of Grade 1s as well. There's lots of other big races.
As we edge closer
Shared
to
Belief,
the
undefeated Jerry Hollendorfer horse that is battling with California Chrome for a top 3-year-old. He continues to be undefeated though, but so lots of great horses running this weekend, of course, as well as our 7-race card at Hastings. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Handicapper's Corner. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.